everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask Mr. Elrod, the video series where you ask and I answer life's toughest questions. This week's question comes from one of my students, actually one of my history students, and I really appreciate their participation in asking questions that are pertinent, especially to the content and the material that we're covering. So the question this week comes, and it is, Mr. Elrod, if you could live during any time in history, what would it be? Well, that's actually a really interesting question, and wait, what's this? It has to have been at least 50 years ago. Oh, wait, what's that? It must be on Earth. Really, how am I supposed to do this? I'm given a question. Look at the question. It says, if you could live in any time during history, then we start putting qualifications on it. Obviously, there's a problem here because it says any time. And if I understand English correctly, and if I understand grammar correctly, what that should mean is any time. Now we're starting to put qualifications on it. This really messes with my creative processes here. I'm really having a hard time. I don't even know if I can do this. I'm going to need a minute. All right. I'm back. I had a chance to settle down, to collect myself, to collect my thoughts, because, really I feel like I was hemmed in by that particular question, which kind of irks me a little bit. But you know what? Because I'm a wonderful, kind, compassionate, and caring individual, and I care about you. I care about you, the viewer. I care about you, the questioner. I'm going to go ahead and carry on with this particular question because I think it's a good question. I think it's a fair question. I think it's a thought-provoking, stimulating question. And so what I'm going to say is this. When I was in college, I was a history major, and so I had to do a lot of research papers and things like that. So the person that I did most of my in-depth research on was Andrew Jackson. I was really intrigued by the life that Andrew Jackson lived. He was born into poverty. Didn't have a tremendous amount of education. He actually thought about being a teacher for a time, but then decided that wouldn't bring him enough wealth, fame, or fortune. Go figure. And then actually ended up being a lawyer. And he was able to accomplish a tremendous amount of things, set up a private law practice, all these kinds of things. And I compare that to the life that the world that we live in today, where if you want to accomplish anything, you've got to jump through so many hoops. There's all this bureaucracy. There's all this paperwork. There's these degrees to get, these certifications to get. And really, what does all that mean? Certifications, degrees, none of that really matters unless you're going to produce the fruit, unless you're going to have the product. So, to me, it's really intriguing to think about living in a world where there's a tremendous amount of freedom, there's not a tremendous amount of government oversight. Hammy, you just totally messed up my video, man. Killing me. Sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes you're just so popular, old students stop by to say hello. Anyway, I believe what I was talking about was this idea of living in a place that is very free, not a whole lot of government oversight, not a whole lot of government regulation and taxes and things like that, where people have to prove themselves through their work and their effort. That's what really intrigues me and draws me to that particular time period. So we're talking late 1700s, early 1800s, where one could strike off and kind of make himself. The West wasn't really tamed at all, and you could go out and get a homestead, or you could set up shop somewhere in a town. You're not going to have to fill out a ton of paperwork. You're not going to have to show a bunch of credentials and whatever. You build the house and you live it. You don't have to go to the inspector and get a CO. What is that? What's that about? You can build your house. You can farm your land. So to me, that time period with seemingly the opportunities and the freedoms that you had. Andrew Jackson went from living in abject poverty, if you talk about Abraham Lincoln too, abject poverty, to being in the presidency. To me, that's a tremendous accomplishment. That's a wonderful, fantastic time period to live in. Obviously, there are a lot of opportunities today, but I'm not allowed to talk about it today. It has to be at least 50 years old. So anyway, thinking about living in a time period like that, something about that's very compelling to me. Living in a place where, it's not about the bureaucracy, it's not about the red tape, it's not about the certifications and the degrees and the hoops to jump through. Rather, it's about the product. Living in America at that time. America's a pretty great place to be. A pretty great place to live, that's what I think. So anyway, that is my answer. How about you? What period of time would you want to live in? Has to be on Earth, though. Has to be at least 50 years ago. My original answer would have been the present, but that's just another conversation to have for another day. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the answer. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot those to me in an email. You can drop them by the question bucket that I have here in class, more than welcome to do that. You can put them in the comment box below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.